Amazingly, it's now almost 25 years since we passed that resolution, and Morocco is stonewalled for 25 years. It would have been an easy referendum to do. Everybody agreed the basis was the Spanish census of 1975. It was a total of 75 or 80,000 people. This is not a big job, but it's 25 years later, and Morocco has effectively seized possession of most of Western Sahara. The Trump administration in the first term recognized they were the legitimate rulers, which is contrary to the longstanding U.S. position. I still think the only way you're going to uh, get it resolved is to have a referendum. I mean, it's taken up now in a larger regional context of disputes between Algeria and Morocco and a range of other things. But for the Saharis themselves, who are still in the refugee camps at Tindouf, they deserve to be able to go back to their homes. Nobody disputes that. The question is under whose sovereignty. Shown no interest. In successive jobs, I talked to people after Baker said, "Look, I've been doing this for 6 or 7 years. I'll resign, let somebody else do it." I've talked to several of his successors, and they've all said in private the same thing, that it's Morocco is just unwilling to take the chance that they might lose the referendum. I mean, they've had, as you know, several, I think multiple now green marches, as they call them, of Moroccans moving into the Western Sahara. And I think they're afraid that the Moroccans get to the Western Sahara and say independence looks like a pretty good idea, that they still can't figure out a way to win the referendum. So it's I just think it's very unfortunate. It shows the real weakness of the UN, that it passes a simple resolution, easy to implement, everybody agrees to it, then one party has second thoughts, and the whole thing collapses. I think the Moroccans would have agreed to an Abraham Accord recognition with Israel because it was in their interest to do it anyway. They'd come very close to recognizing Israel before. They would have been, other than Egypt and Jordan, they could have been the first Arab country to do that. Uh, but they backed away, and so they took advantage of. I wasn't in the Trump administration anymore, but they took advantage of a group of people who didn't have the slightest idea what Western Sahara was, or where it was, or what its significance was. They gave them a concession that they shouldn't have given them. One way to limit this potential conflict is to resolve the Western Sahara. Um, I remember once being with Baker in 1997 in uh, one of the king's offices, a very, very big office. And he had a map on the wall that had doors that normally you could close the doors, but they were open. And the map showed uh, what they think Morocco should be, and it includes not just Morocco, but about half of Algeria, the Western Sahara, and a big chunk of northern Mauritania. I mean, that's what this is about fundamentally. If you had if you could resolve the Western Sahara conflict and the issue of who controls the minerals, who controls the fisheries, who controls the tourist potential, all that sort of thing, that might help minimize or at least narrow the differences between Morocco and Algeria. He said a couple of months ago he was going to take the Gaza Strip and make it into the Riviera of the Eastern Mediterranean. That isn't going to happen, that's for sure. But the Western Sahara has a long Atlantic coastline. I could imagine resorts, casinos. If you could get his attention for the Trump organization to have a concession from the Polisario or somebody to put resorts out there, maybe that would get him to support a referendum.